Do you know what? I'm just gonna, it's just gonna be like WoW of the Kingdom or something like that. Or Tears of the WoW. It's whichever one you want. And I'll get the exact same, like, introducing Legend of Zelda Tears of the WoW. And every time we do it, it'll just be the Owen Wilson thing. Perfect. Yeah. And this conversation is staying in just like before.
Perfect. Just like the last one.
The Legend of Zelda Tears of the
Wow.
Yes. Okay. Well, firstly, before we dive in and we get into the juicy, delicious, amazingness that is Tears of the Kingdom, Welsh, tell me a little bit more about your Breath of the Wild experience. Have you done any more? Have you been anywhere else? Have you seen any new things?
So last week in the podcast when this came up, I straight-faced lied to you. No, I've not played any more Breath of the Wild since I last spoke about it with you. I've been busy. I've been so busy. I got back on that Fortnite train. I re-downloaded Pokemon Shield because I wanted to play some Pokemons. And I even when I went to boot up Pokemon Shield, Breath of the Wild was like there, like resume. I was like, oh, I should. I want to play some Pokemon.
I mean,
want to play
if
Pokemon.
If it doesn't capture your soul, man,
it does. It's just the way that I am with games is that I very much pick something up, put it down, pick something else up. I can't just commit to one thing. Yeah, so I'll get back to it. I'm not going back. I really enjoyed my time in it. And I did start getting somewhere that I haven't spoke to you about. I finished speaking to you about it when I was in like the tropical area. I was in a tropical area.
Yeah.
And then I solved that puzzle to fly to the top of the tower, and I felt bowler from it. And then I've just been doing shrine after shrine after shrine. And I found like some weird ones that was in like it was on the way to the actual objective, which is like the very first objective, by the way, after the plateau. I still haven't done it because I've been exploring and having fun. And there was a shrine that was like through a valley between a mountain, and it was like tucked right out of the way. And it would have been so hard to get to had I not hit it in the exact approach that I meant to. And I think it was the one where you're freezing water to stop like platforms to knock a ball. It was really fun. Like I don't use the freezing water effects enough in that game. Yeah. All the stasis, I use the magnet and I use the bomb. That's it.
Oh, the stasis is so good, man.
I don't even know what I can use that on other than the shrines. Everything. So like enemies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
How the fuck have I not managed to pull that off yet?
Or you like, if you're standing next to a boulder and you stasis it and you slap it a couple of times and then stop it, will launch into an enemy and knock them over.
Can you jump on the boulder and ride it to a higher point?
Absolutely, yes. 100%.
God damn it. Okay. All right, I'm going to get back on it tonight after this. So that's where I'm up to with Breath of the Wild. I've played a little bit more.
Have you been through a lightning storm yet? Because that's what I really want to talk to you about.
No, I haven't been through a lightning storm. Oh. I have been in some plains where there's been like...
such a beautiful moment.
What are those bats with the eyes?
Keese.
Keese?
Keese.
I have been in a few storms where the geese are like flying in giant flocks and they just like swoop in. And that's pretty intense. And then the lizard things?
Lizfolk? I think Lizfolk?
Lizfolk.
Yeah, that's going to kill me. I think it's like...
I don't even know what the names of the red things are, the piglin things.
They...
Hobgoblins. Hoblins? Hoblins. They hoblins?
They are... Bobobkins.
Yeah.
And then moblins are the big ones. But no more, because you are spoiling that stuff for yourself. So we're going to stop right there.
All right. So sorry, I'm just demonstrating the fact that I just don't know what the fuck's going on. But I have seen a lot of Tears of the Kingdom videos. So...
Okay. There's a couple of really like beautiful moments. I told to you about the shield surfing and stuff, but one of the moments in Breath of the Wild that stayed with me forever was the first lightning storm I ever went through. I was like, what the actual fuck?
Why? What's the deal with the lightning storm? Or will I have to find out? Or are you going to tell me?
If you have anything metallic on you, it will start sparking. And then about 20 seconds later, you will get struck by lightning and it will do like 10 hearts worth of damage. And you just get blown to pieces.
And how does one... avoid that from happening. You just got to
either
just
unequip your
everything.
metallic stuff or switch into like wooden or zonai.
I will remember this.
It's such an amazing moment. And there's a couple of moments where it's like, whoa, like have you met any big creatures yet?
Only the giant stone things with the coal thingy on their backs. That's the biggest thing I fought.
There's a couple you can't really fight, and it's insane when it happens.
Okay, looking forward to it.
Okay, so
I was like, is that what you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, 100%. I just wanted to hear your experience with the game because I find it so beautiful. Like the same things that make Breath of the Wild amazing are the same things that makes Tears of the Kingdom amazing. And we've already kind of touched on this, but creativity, I think the like one of the internal ethos of this game, and one of the reasons why I think people celebrate it so much is it is just such an like uninhibited creative playground, and it's such a good playground to play around with. In the new one, you've got the Zonai devices, and you can combine them in like the weirdest and most wonderful ways, and you can make the strangest, most effective or ineffective vehicles. You can make mechs out of like rotating arms and wheels and stuff, because that's how like the physics in the world work. You can make these like amazing hovercrafts. You can make spring
That's a lot
launchers.
of what I've seen online. Yeah, a lot of that stuff.
Good. I watched a lot of videos of dumb stuff and amazing stuff, and it's incredible. But the same creativity is there in Breath of the Wild. The way you use things like stasis powers to ride a boulder through the sky, or the way in which the landscape drives you to make different choices and be uninhibited, and like, I'm going to put an Octorok balloon on a explosive thing and Karok fan it towards someone and then shoot an arrow so it falls out of the sky and blows them up.
Wait, what's the fan? There's a fan so you can move stuff that's on a balloon?
Yeah. So the leaf, the Karok leaf.
I still haven't got one, actually. You've mentioned that to me about sailing boats. I still haven't found one.
So if you cut down like almost any tree, you should get one.
I haven't.
You just keep cutting down trees.
I've only cut down one tree.
And they will appear. And you can sail boats with them. You can fly stuff through the air with them. You can do a whole lot of really cool stuff. And it's even more insane in Tears of the Kingdom. The map is so much better. I mean, it's the same map we know and love, but now there's like an up map. Like there's Sky Kingdoms, but there's also a down map. There's like an entire new kingdom underneath. Yeah. Which is entirely pitch black, and the only way you can explore it is with these like light producing seeds, and it's really freaking cool.
With that, I did hear that Nintendo had made a big deal about delaying the game, or the reason the game took so long was for them to work on the Sky Kingdoms, and they're getting the Sky Kingdom up to scratch and everything, and they never really mentioned the underground.
It's a lot more sparse because it's just like a lot of empty land, but it's really cool to explore because it's just like a pitch black dungeon filled with things to discover, which are really cool. And you can only explore it by going into caves on the surface and getting these things. They're like gloom seeds, I think they are, gloom light seeds. And then you just have to shoot all these seeds around until you can find what is like a tower, and then you activate it and it lights up a certain small area, and then when you link them all together, you light up the map. It's really cool. And down there, you get gloom damage, which blocks out hearts, and you can't refill those hearts until you stand back in light. So it's a lot more challenging down there.
It's already a challenging game. Breath of the Wild is already challenging for me without all of this.
Well, the good news is that this is like Tears of the Kingdom is an unbridled exploration of like everything. Impulses, creativity, and all the powers and stuff in that game, they just compound on that. So there's like a power called Fuse, which lets you fuse any two objects together. So you can take all the monster parts and fuse them to your weapons to like make them do different things, like spew out fire or all kinds of stuff, but it lets you fuse anything to anything. So you can fuse a minecart to your shield and then minecart shield surf on a rail, like Tony Hawk style. or you can like fuse a bomb to your shield and then go to the shield surf, bounce on the ground, fly into the air, slow down time with your bow, hit them, switch into a shield that has a rocket, zoom past the enemy, switch back into your bow, slow down time, hit them again.
So I got two questions for you about your playthrough, right? We've seen a lot of people do these crazy things so far. My first question is, what's the craziest thing that you've done from a natural experimentation? Not like, oh, I've seen someone do this online, I'm gonna do it. What's something you've stumbled upon that's like, that was sick? And also, how far through the game do you estimate that you are? Because you've been smashing this game.
Been playing a lot.
Yeah, this is not like a pick up, put down like I am with Breath of the Wild. You are on it. You are on it.
I don't know. I feel like there's so much left to do. Like there's just random things that'll sidetrack you. Like I just went and did all the labyrinths because they were just there and they're like multi-part things. And I was like, I saw one and I was like, oh, the labyrinth is back, wicked. And then I saw another one. I was like, hang on, there's a second labyrinth. And then I saw a third one and I was like, you know what? There's 3 of them. That probably means something. So I'm going to go through and do them all back to back.
And the craziest thing, coolest thing of experimenting. What is, I need to know, Murray. That's probably what's going to sell me on it the most, is something that you've done that you're like, shit, man, I can't believe that worked.
I'm not particularly explorative in games. Like I quite like the linear path. So all these people doing these nuts things like making mechs and stuff, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Or even just a weird interaction between 2 items. They're like, holy shit, that's a thing? Cool.
Well, the first time I fused like a giant metal spike to a sword was like it was a giant iron bowl and I wasn't expecting it to fuse down onto the top of a thing. And I was like, oh, I can actually beat all these things. That's really cool. And I fused a bomb to the end of a sword, on the end of a spear, and threw it into a pack and blew everybody up. And I was like, okay, that's actually pretty cool. Oh, that's actually pretty fucking cool. But things that I combine together into a weird and wonderful. I don't know, dude. I think I just spent so long being vanilla.
That's a challenge for you between now and the next podcast then. Like in the start of the next episode, I want you to tell me what the cool experimentation is that you've pulled off. You're like, I did my homework and this is the combination that I think is the coolest thing I can tell you about.
Yeah, okay.
Do you accept the challenge, Murray?
I do accept the challenge.